whispers into the microphone as we start.
I probably should have put something up on Facebook.
Okay, so cześć. That's our Polish hello. Cześć. I think that's correct. Welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We are your hosts, going live on our Resistance Chicks channel.
I think this is a good time to just explain why we go live on Mass Faith 3, just real quick in case you didn't know.
Okay.
We started a second channel. We had a homesteading channel. We started a second channel to do politics. They put this channel that you're on right now on the bottom list, and somehow our Mass Faith 3, same identical videos. We double twin the videos, and everybody found us on Mass Faith 3, so that's where we decided to hang out because everybody was going there.
It was not our intention to be streaming on Mass Faith 3 all of the time, but when the views kept going there, because of the algorithms that actually sent views to our channel in the beginning,
exactly.
So that's how that happened.
We would much rather our channel be Resistance Chicks channel. I mean, that just makes more makes sense. But if people aren't, obviously some of you are coming here. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Cześć. We will be putting this up as a uploaded video on
Mass Faith 3.
On Mass Faith 3.
We still don't know exactly what's going on with our ban. Like Leah doesn't know what's going on with her hair.
I know. Isn't that funny?
But
so I want to show them this real quick.
Okay.
If you were on our live feed last night, all of a sudden we were at the very end of the Jordan Peterson interview with the woman from the UK BBC Channel 4 News, and he was obliterating her, and it was a really great interview.
It was fantastic.
And YouTube
we were having
cut us
so
off.
much fun. It was like one of the best videos. If you guys missed that video, it was one of the best videos that we've done in a long time. Everybody in the chat was having fun. We were having fun. I enjoyed it immensely.
I want you to see this. This is the video itself. It's had 900 views. While the monetization, it's just why it always is. That's your awesome face there. It is available to be seen.
They didn't take it down.
It's there. Like, for some reason, the video is allowed up, but we can't live stream again. So something happened. Either they meant to take it down, and we need to go through the whole copyright claim. Is the only thing we can think of is we're playing the Channel 4 video.
Yeah.
And they put a copyright claim on it while we're going live. Now, what I read was, if they put a copyright claim on something while you're going live, there'll be something on your computer, like flashing or something, letting you know.
Right.
Nothing came up on our computer, just bam, shut it off. They said that if you got a copyright claim while you're live streaming and you stop doing whatever you're doing,
then they'll let you
continue. But we didn't get any notifications. We contacted YouTube. They said there's a copyright claim. We have asked for additional information because the way copyright claims work is I can show you.
Sorry guys, I'm putting this up on Facebook right now just so people can find us.
Let's say, like our Christmas Eve special, Resistance Chicks, we played White Christmas. So somebody came in with a copyright claim on this 2-second thing where we played White Christmas. And when that happens, what always happens is the person with the copyright claim just gets monetization. Yep. So our video has ads on it. Somebody making money on this video, man.
Now, you do actually, so you can sometimes, it depends on the situation, you'll split the advertising.
Well,
in that case.
My point is that we have copyright status is none. We don't have any strikes. The only reason, you have to get a strike in order to have your channel stop live streaming. And we have no community guideline strikes.
It just says live streaming disabled.
Just right here. So something's fishy. This is definitely censorship. This is probably one of those Twitter shadow ban things just to try to get us to stop live streaming.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
And this is some idiot behind the desk, like we saw with Twitter.
Right.
And they're like, hey, I'm going to ban this person. Hey, I'm going to do this. There's just people behind the screen who don't like you.
Because, and the reason why we're saying this is we've been given no notice as to, we played several videos yesterday. Not one of them has sent us a copyright claim.
Right.
YouTube usually does that and says this is, usually when I get the copyright claims, which is pretty frequent, it just says you don't have to do anything in this case. You'll just split the monetization.
We have not gotten an email from YouTube.
Right.
Because you get to go through a process.
Right.
And you can even file, if your channel's even been taken completely down, you can, and your form isn't available because your channel's locked down.
Right.
You can file a fresh form. The problem is that you have to sign it under federal perjury, I swear that what I have done isn't wrong and isn't against anything wrong. Well, I can't swear because you didn't tell me what it did.
Right.
I don't know. I can't tell for sure that that's what it is. So why would I go and sign my name and say, I swear.
Right.
I swear I didn't do what you're telling me I didn't do.
Right.
But you're telling me what I didn't do.
And Chris is asking, no guideline strike? No. There were no guideline strikes. So
no, we actually have gotten no emails. Our channel has been disabled. We contacted YouTube.
Well, not the channel. Well, just the live streaming ability.
Yeah. Well, the video's up, dude. I mean, you all can watch it. Everybody can watch it. There's Michelle's great face there. 900 views on it so far.
Which I'm actually really glad about. I was terrified that they were going to just take the whole video down.
We had 350 live streaming with us. And when it got cut off, it had like 600 more views still.
Right.
Probably if YouTube had a great algorithms, then it would
Otto
have
says
more.
the Federal Bureau of YouTube will get you and shoot your dog.
I'm glad that some of you have found us here.
I'm glad too. Which is very interesting. Our both channels have gained a lot of subscribers through this, so I'm not exactly upset about that.
I know, but usually right now it's everybody's gotten a notification, and a bunch of people on Mass Phase 3. If you're watching this as a recorded video and you got a notification, please subscribe to Resistance Chicks and get our notifications from Resistance Chicks too.
Yeah.
All
right, so let's get right to it because we have been promising you guys our kind of Polish episode where we want to cover a couple of different Poland issues. I want to make this episode primarily about the fact that IPP TV, and I think I'm going to get this somewhat close, each pod prompt. It actually means to go against the tide, to go against the current of people, like a crowd of people, you're going against them. That's what that means. And so they have launched a new channel, which I'm really excited about, that's going to be English speaking or English dubbed or subtitles or whatever.
So it's Christian TV in Poland, but it's been frustrating for us because it's great and we can't. And so they have graciously decided to make an English speaking channel, and they also have a new Twitter. It's called Make Poland Great Again, at Poland Great, and they tweeted out today for us today. Congrats on Resistance Chicks for earning the YouTube Christian Persecution Purple Heart Medal. We got you too in Christian Poland, and they want to know if they knew from Congress at Marco Rubio. So go ahead and find them on Twitter. Find them on.
And it's not.
YouTube.
You said it's Christian. It's way more than that.
Oh, totally.
What they are, and we're gonna have Unica describe it here in a minute, or we're not going to have to. She's just going to. What they are, what their goal is to bring God and biblical Christianity back into politics again, which I think is huge. So in addition to that, then they also obviously want to spread the gospel.
And guess what? We have permission to use the video.
Shocking.
So no copyright claims on this one.
All right, so without further ado, let's get the beautiful Unica, and she's going to describe the two hosts of their main show. One of them is her father, Pastor Pavel.
Did you want to play it on the thing, or are you going to play it behind us?
I want to go ahead and play it behind us so that we can have a reaction to it.
Dear viewers all over the world, this is Go Against the Tide TV channel, the voice of patriotic biblical Christians from Poland. We are a dynamically developing community of Polish patriots and Christians. We've been broadcasting since 2008 in Polish. For the last 2 years, we've been transmitting live with 30,000 viewers per day. And now we are starting a new TV channel for all those of you who don't speak Polish, but would like to know the truth about what is really going on in Poland. We will expose fake news about Poland. We will tell you who is who in our country, and we will work hard to make Poland great again. You probably never heard of these two men, but I'm sure they will very soon be frequent guests in your homes. Let me introduce them. Marian Kowalski. One of the most popular online political commentators in Poland, he is a fiercely anti-communist, patriotic conservative who ran for presidency in Poland in 2015. All his life, he has been fighting against political correctness. He now opposes the idea of New Silk Road, which could spell the domination of communist China over the entire world. And Paweł Chojecki, the most popular pastor in Poland, the founder and editor-in-chief of Go Against the Tide TV. He is well known for combining the message of the Bible with patriotism, politics, and economy. A reformer and a politician, he is hated by those who hate the gospel of Jesus Christ. But he isn't bothered by that at all. These two are an explosive blend. This is the first project of this kind in Poland since the times of the Reformation in the 16th century. We want to put Christianity back into politics. Our motto is God, honor, fatherland. I need to add here that they both supported Donald Trump and believed in his victory, despite the fact that almost no one in Poland believed in Donald Trump's success.
So it's shocking.
We believe that Donald Trump will make America great again. And with God's help, we aim to make Poland great again too. Let's get started.
Yay! That was so well done.
Welcome to Make Poland Great Again. I'm Monika Chojecka. This is the first episode of our program on Go Against the Tide TV. With me now are Marian Kowalski and Pastor Paweł Chojecki. We will talk today about the reasons behind...
All right, so now I want to take a minute. I don't want to stop this up. But I want you guys to get a feel for these people the way that Leah and I have. They kind of feel like Polish family to us. First of all, I want to give a great round of applause so far to Unica for that was perfect English. I cannot get over how beautifully that was
her
done.
Little accent, I would think she was American.
Exactly. And then also Jericho, I think that's how it's pronounced, is doing the dubbing of this, and it is amazing. Phenomenal. I sat down earlier, I was working on a project, and I watched this through.
It's professional.
And
totally
it's
professional.
Totally professional. The translation I felt was spot on and perfect. So thank you guys for doing that. The reason that I never pronounce Marian's name is because I never say it because I'm always afraid that I'm going to get it wrong. But he ran for president, so that's kind of a big deal. And then Pastor Paweł, and I always get their last name. I just want to say Chojecki. Like that would, I know that's not at all how you say it. But these three right here, every time I watch them, I usually never know what they're saying, but I feel it really, really powerfully. So this is the opportunity for their ministry to get their message out in English, not only to just the rest of us as everyday Americans, but also they have a kind of Polish family here. They're just English-speaking people that have a heart for Poland, and they wanted to be able to get the Polish message specifically to them as well. So, carry on.
Behind government reshuffle in Poland. In Poland, the ruling party is Law and Justice, and until now we thought it is an anti-communist party. But last December, its leadership forced the resignation of Mrs. Szydło's government, and a few days ago, its best minister, the defense minister, was fired, a staunch supporter of Poland's alliance with the United States under Donald Trump, Antoni Macierewicz. Why did this happen?
Can you pause that really quick? All right, so I want to give you guys as much information as possible, because while this video probably would be fine standalone, but since you guys are Resistance Chicks family, I want to let you in on my message to Ivan when this had happened. The day after the defense minister was fired.
First, everybody heard that Beata she resigned, but she was forced to resign.
Yeah, kind of. That's our understanding of it. But Ivan sent me a message, and he said, have you heard what happened today in Poland? Antoni, I don't even know how to say the last name, was removed from Minister of Defense. We were predicting this already from the beginning of the rule of the PIS party. Poland's government has capitulated. Most important news since the end of World War II. Communists won. I'm serious and not exaggerating. And I said, okay, well, what will happen now? He said, well, the U.S. will either stay with Germany as main partner in mainland EU out of lack of a better choice, but because Germany is with Russia and China secretly, he says, Ribbentrop Molotov 2.0, they will betray the U.S. Option 2, the U.S. will try Ukraine, but Ukraine is no good for the type of partner U.S. is looking for in Europe. They want a partner to keep communists and Islam at bay. Throughout European history, Poland were the only ones that ever achieved that, like after World War I and when we defended Vienna. It has to be Poland, but for that, Poles have to turn to Jesus and wake up, which they do. Our TV is getting between 2 to 5 testimonies of born-again Christians a week. That's massive to me. I mean, that's huge. And he says that we've been getting out an average of 500 New Testament requests a month from Poles for the past 2 years. So I want to let you guys know that their ministry for getting souls and the way that it ties into changing Poland politically with Christ in it, I can't back and support it more. But I want to let you guys know that it was a really big deal to them and to a lot of the Polish people when the defense minister, because first they hit with Beata Szydło and then with the defense minister, and so they're about to explain that. But I wanted to give you a little bit of backstory.
I'm hoping that this kind of picks up some steam because. And I would suggest that they I don't know if they've done this, but to take the clip in English and just keep putting that up there and keep putting it out there and keep saying and put out explosive headlines.
Right.
because the English-speaking world is desperate for views and news from Poland, but we need it to be translated. It's like the girl who translated Beata Szydło's speech. Whoa! It shocked the entire globe.
Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing.
One of the main reasons was that Antoni Macierewicz, against the wishes of other ministers, blocked the allocation of land for the Silk Road transshipment facilities near the Polish capital city. Many ministers talk about the necessity of cooperation with communist China, and the Silk Road is meant to end in Poland with a kind of major transshipment junction, from where it would branch out in other directions. And Antoni Macierewicz said he would just refuse land for this investment. And I think this was a tangible reason for all this is about who is going to control the Polish territory. The European Union has been managing here, and clearly the Silk Road project is becoming coherent with that of the European Union. The two aim for cooperation, but some Polish patriots, including us, suggested that Poland should, especially now under the current ruling party that took over 2 years ago, should form a strategic alliance, political, military and economic alliance with the US, as Donald Trump won the election. Pastor Paweł Chojecki, why did this happen? Why was Antoni Macierewicz fired from the government? To understand what has just happened, we have to go back to 1989. This was when the world heard probably the greatest lie about Poland, possibly in the last several hundred years, namely that communism collapsed in Poland. This was as if today you dressed up the Iranian Ayatollahs in Western suits, and they would still hold power, still have the army, still have their secret services, and they would still have their revolutionary guard, which...
So if you dressed up the Iranian government in Western suits, they'd still be in power.
Correct.
Do you understand?
They would now call the forces of progress or the forces of democracy. So they would merely change their clothes and still control Iran, and they would say, we have democracy now. The Islamic regime of Ayatollahs has collapsed. Exactly this happened in Poland in 1989. You could say communists changed their suits, called themselves Democrats, and still controlled Poland.
Very true.
Same here in America.
And what has happened just now is the legacy of that unresolved struggle back then. In fact, there is an ongoing struggle of two camps in Poland, Polish patriots versus the communists who are either answerable to Moscow, that is Russia, or to Berlin, that is Germany. So the developments you are talking about, the dismissal of Prime Minister Szydło and later the dismissal of Minister Antoni Macierewicz, who brought American troops to Poland, these events are nothing else but a return to the policy of submission to Germany and Russia. Would you say that the removal of Prime Minister Szydło was carried out just for the purpose of eventually removing the Defense Minister Antoni Macierewicz? This couldn't be done in the...
What was the question before you interrupted it?
I'm sorry. If the removal of Beata Szydło was set into place just to get to the defense minister.
Oh. Ugh.
Open because Antoni Macierewicz was a man with the best anti-communist credentials in this government, for he has been fighting communism since the 1970s. He is a man who has remained loyal to the leader of the ruling party, Jarosław Kaczyński, since the 1990s. He was also the most merited member of the previous Law and Justice government in 2005. If he had been attacked directly, it would have cost quite a stir. He is the best minister, with excellent background, a loyal man. Why is he sacked? So this had to be carried out under a guise, so to speak. In the morning, Prime Minister was defended in the parliament, for the opposition demanded her resignation. She got flowers from her colleagues. The opposition was overwhelmingly outvoted. And later in the day, she just stopped being Prime Minister. A new Prime Minister was proposed, who then had several weeks to prepare the public opinion for changes in the government, and all this was done for the sole purpose of removing Antoni Macierewicz from his defense minister's post. You can see very clearly there were no other reasons. There was no increase in social discontent with Prime Minister Szydło and Minister Macierewicz. Law and Justice, the ruling party, had a sky-high popularity of around 50%. And it happened at that very moment, just when all was going well, when Minister Macierewicz announced more American troops to come to Poland, new defense systems for the Polish army, that is the Patriot system, and submarines capable of carrying nuclear missiles. He announced all of that, and the increase of Polish troops. So the government and the ruling party were at the peak development, with the massive support of the Poles, and at this very moment there was a glut. The ruling party is effectively dismantling what has been developing so well in this area. It wasn't the Poles, the voters, who forced this, but the two capitals of hostile empires, Germany and Russia, forced Jarosław Kaczyński and President Duda to betray the Poles, betray Poland's allies and their fellow party members, Prime Minister Szydło and Minister Macierewicz. We are joined by our Taiwan correspondent Hanna Shen. Why was Defense Minister Antoni Macierewicz sacked? We have a globalist agenda. We will now save the whole planet. On the one hand, make America, make your country great. And on the other hand, the globalist agenda. Trump's idea is that sovereign countries have to take care of themselves. They have the right to fight for their national interests and follow their values. The struggle is on this level, between these two ideas. On the one hand, a globalist world is being built, and on the other, that of sovereign nations. And the question for the Polish politicians now is which side they want to be on. Antoni Macierewicz was the man who ensured Poland opted for the alliance with the US. He spoke the same language, he talked about the same threats as the United States. He was the only government official who spoke about the Russia-China naval exercise in the Baltic Sea. Only he talked about it. He was the only politician who blocked the Chinese investment near the city of Łódź. Only he saw eye to eye with the Americans to break this alliance so that Poland would join the globalist agenda President Macron spoke about. Macierewicz had to be removed. And the leftist European elites are very happy about it now. It's their victory. No wonder when they talked about the reshuffle in the Chinese media, just two names were mentioned. Foreign Minister Waszczykowski, which is understandable since the foreign minister is mentioned in their media most often, and the other name was Minister Macierewicz. They were also happy about it. They explained it to the Chinese, following the narrative in the European media that the reshuffle was meant to improve the ties with the European Union. The message was, calm down and don't worry, Poland is returning to the Euro-Asian alliance. Hanna Shen asked a good question, who will Poland side with now, having fired Minister Antoni Macierewicz, with Germany, Putin's Russia and Communist China, or with the free world under the leadership of Donald Trump and the United States? I think the ambitions of Polish patriots to make Poland a sovereign, independent, strong and just country from which the Poles don't need to migrate in search of jobs. These dreams have probably been shattered for a very long time to come, if not forever. Today we have to realize that the European Union and the Russian-Chinese alliance are set against the United States, and this is why at this very important location, Central Europe, a project that would boost the US global potential has been blocked. A project that would at last bring Poland a loyal ally. For Germany has always strived to dominate Poland and Russia to conquer Poland. And today the tool for their schemes is the Silk Road project, which attracts economically and also politically all post-communist and leftist or liberal-dominated countries in Europe and Asia.
Pause that for a second.
The United States could find a partner.
For anybody that's just joining us or having a little bit of trouble keeping up, I want to kind of sum up just a little bit of what they're saying is, I want you guys to feel this the way that they're feeling it, because we have been cheerleading Poland and cheerleading the stances that they are taking against the EU over and over and over again lately. We are so excited about Hungary and the Czech Republic and everything that's going on over there, where they are saying to the EU, no, absolutely not. We are a sovereign nation. We're not taking in the migrants and so forth.
But there are communists in cloaks in the Polish government.
Exactly.
They took off their cloaks when Poland started to ruffle the feathers of the European Union,
right?
Which is why Betis Szydło had to be removed from office, and because obviously this military leader. In all
honesty, with the Minister of Defense there and with Beata Szydło there, they were going to make this stance strong, and they were going to stand up against the EU,
right?
Almost as strong, if not stronger, than the UK, because they're still within the EU, and they were saying no.
Yeah, so Poland was making a stronger stance, like a chess game against EU, than even Brexit. They're just two different ways of bucking the European Union. I would like to interject a little bit more hope, because it's actually easier when you're on the outside, when you have felt betrayed. It's very difficult to see hope in the midst of this, but you have to recognize, and I would hope they recognize, we are all fighting a battle,
right? And
just like our tiny little live stream was knocked off, okay? Everybody with a human heart, I don't even know, you have the globalists on one side, they have the minions of the liberals and the Democrats, and what has happened is that the entire globe is coming together, minus some Asian countries probably. But the entire globe, I would say, European-minded people are coming together and saying, we are done with the globalists.
Yeah.
We don't want them anymore. But as Rodgers had said, and Steve Bannon had said, Steve Bannon's not a bad guy, you guys. This is the same thing as just having the military guy taken out.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon was not against the president. He was definitely Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
He was, and it broke my heart to see Steve Bannon taken out. It broke my heart to see Roy Moore fall. It drives me batty to see all the people around the president dropping like flies. General Flynn. And then the only ones that get to stay around are the
we have,
crazy liberals.
It really is our word of encouragement to you guys. Now, granted, we have Donald Trump, and I think that they feel like Donald Trump is the be all and end all. And I am excited that Trump is in office. Don't get me wrong. I can't imagine if Hillary
Trump's
Clinton,
movement is the movement of the
people, and that's the encouragement I want to give you guys. We have had blow after blow after blow this past year, just since Trump was in office, having some of our main people you guys may not be familiar with, and maybe you are, I don't know, but they've been taken out, and it's like you feel like a punch in the gut.
And then even more so is the globalists in charge of Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter,
and censorship,
who have shut down every voice.
Right.
Put them in the shadow banning, put them in the basement. We talk about this all the time. But the answer is to not give up,
right,
to recognize there's hope. And while the liberty movement, the freedom movement took huge strides in 2016.
Yeah.
And it seems that in 2017, some brakes were put on. It seems that Geert Wilders, was close, but not all the way there. Marine Le Pen was close, but not all the way there.
Right.
And these are people who are against the globalist agenda. They're against the Bayer, IG Farben companies. They're against the communists. They're against the Nazism, the globalist mentality. I would encourage also to recognize that within Russia, there is an awakening of religion as well.
Yeah.
But you're not going to just throw off all communism just like that. Oh, right, we threw off communism. No, it doesn't work that way. People grow up with mentalities.
Yeah.
And it's not that they have to die off. The gospel of Jesus Christ has to hit them. And there have been people on Alex Jones' show and in my own prayer time, God is saying, and I would encourage our Polish viewers to see Russia as divided as well.
Yes.
That you have...
Just as obviously Poland is divided.
And America is divided.
Yeah.
And so you may see certain parts of Russian leadership still having communist cloaks on with Western coats.
Yeah.
And you do see that they are trying to, I believe Putin is trying to bring up a Christian organic farming, sustainable people. There are more of us than there are of them. And the cool thing is that we are thinking for ourselves. Mm-hmm. People don't tell us what to think.
Right.
People aren't, we want information, right? But I and you're watching all the anti-globalist people, you guys are thinking for yourself.
Exactly.
And you're allowing God to lead you. Whereas these other people, their greatest weakness is they can't think for themselves. They can't defend their belief system.
And they don't have a grassroots movement of the people.
No, it's AstroTurf.
Wherever you go online, you're not finding stations like this on the left. Stations like us on the left. And that is the beauty. And that's why they are working so hard to censor. So to sum up, we want to give you guys, especially the Polish viewers, and Kowalski, I think I said that right, and Pastor Pavel, hope for your viewers, because when we look at Poland, we see the heart of the people.
Absolutely.
Rising up in
marches,
a massive way. And that doesn't go anywhere regardless of who is in power.
Right.
Okay. And if, like we say in our American history, if you have to throw off the chains of such a corrupt government, that's what the people will do.
Right.
So I want you guys to be excited about that. Here comes Patriot Gallery, probably with another.
Well, you reminded me of saying in the 70s, it got swept under the sweep.
Swept under the sweep?
Swept under the rug because we didn't know at the time that we were being brainwashed by the mass media, and even on newspapers. So we didn't know.
Yeah.
But at the time, people were saying you can't buy love because the country is going through a sexual revolution, all this other stuff. Most people were trying to fight it, but we couldn't because we didn't know what we know now.
Right.
But the whole thing is that we know it now, and the globalists are going to realize you can't buy love. You can't buy the commitment and loyalty. You might buy all these kids in Antifa, and you might buy some politicians like whoever kicked out this defense minister. You can buy a few people, but they're not loyal. They're not really fighting for what they believe in.
Right.
And there's another saying that when somebody's fighting for their homes and what they believe in, you've lost already because they have conviction, and it's a strength and a power, and these other guys are just so weak.
Right.
Exactly. They have the money, they have the power, but we have the conviction. George Soros has endless funds. But what we have is the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is powerful.
And an unlimited God. So I see hope, and I still see kind of Poland as is the correct word, a bastion, out there where we can look to you guys as a people, regardless of whether Beteshidwo is in power or the defense minister is there.
Let's pray that the leaders who are in power get convicted by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, Andrzej Duda, I think is the president.
Yeah. Do you want to explain who he is right now, or keep listening?
Let's keep listening.
Okay.
Poland. The way Japan or South Korea are in East Asia and Israel is in the Middle East. Poland, with its location, would be ideally poised to keep Russia and Germany at bay and bring to a halt the expansion of the Silk Road. Unfortunately, the Polish national interest and that of the free world, along with the plans of Donald Trump's United States, have just been frustrated. Who will Poland stand by now, the free world and the United States, or the communist or neo-communist world? It is enough to look at the family and ideological background of the new Prime Minister who has been inserted to replace Prime Minister Szydło. Mateusz Morawiecki, the son of a once fairly well-known opposition activist in Poland. Both are well-known leftist globalists. So Hanna Shen, a Pole living in Taiwan, has very aptly put the reshuffle in Poland in a larger global context. For the UN is planning a global pact for migrants and refugees in 2018. A strategy for the management of large-scale human migratory movements, hence our strong support for the changes planned in the United States by Donald Trump, who is against the migration which would flood the Christian United States and destroy its Christian, biblical and patriotic character. The same thing is being done in Europe through the wave of migrants. We call them Islamic invaders. And you can see three forces involved here. Russia is acting as a beater, as in hunting, provoking wars and unrest in the Middle East. The chase is coming mainly from Syria. When Russia got involved in the Syrian conflict, the wave of migrants surged. So while Russia is doing the chase, Germany keeps inviting the barbarian hordes that are meant to destroy old Europe. It was Chancellor Merkel who said exactly this: "Come over, willkommen, welcome." And the third player is the Vatican. Pope Francis provides a justification by lying that it is our Christian duty to destroy nation-states and accept the hordes of Islamic barbarians who are set to destroy our way of life. Also, for this reason, Morawiecki was appointed new prime minister, as he is submissive to the schemes of globalists, heir to a leftist and globalist family tradition. Prime Minister
Pope Francis is a Jesuit, just to let you know, globalist, commie agenda.
Szydło was dismissed by her own colleagues, denied Islamic migrants entry to Poland. She rejected the EU's dictates over Poland. But Mateusz Morawiecki, the new Polish Prime Minister, is following a different policy. Foreign media, such as the Washington Post, believe Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has reshuffled his cabinet to warm ties with the EU. Would you agree with that? The commentators in Poland are saying that improving the image of Poland within the EU was the primary reason behind the changes.
Improving the image. of Poland.
Improving the image within the EU. That's not what you want. That's not what the Polish people wanted to do. I can tell you that.
That shouldn't be the motivation of any country to do anything to improve your image to the European Union. Your goal for keeping setting in place people in the government should be how they are going to run your government, not to impress the EU with any kind of image.
I don't think our country should be so concerned with its image, for the reality is that Poland would have the best image if it simply ceased to exist. Then Germany and Russia would be at their happiest. Wouldn't you like to warm ties with the European Union? The European Union does not represent the national interest of Poland. As far as migration is concerned, it attempted an assault on Poland's demographic and cultural integrity, such as has been going on for decades in Western Europe. Today, in many European capitals, there are ghettos dominated by Muslim migrants, and these are not happy neighborhoods. Even the police are afraid to go there. Luckily, so far, we don't have any of these in Poland. This is why Poland is capable of defending its status
and that's
quo.
why the EU's upset, by the way. The idea is to
And
destroy
above
all of
all,
Europe.
is able to prevent these refugees from voting in elections. For in Western Europe, some politicians are simply afraid to fall into disfavor with the Muslim minority, which is very dynamic demographically.
Zagraniczne media Washington Post pisze, że
The Washington Post says Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki met with the European Commission's head Jean-Claude Juncker, and the latter's office said the two had a friendly and constructive dinner in Brussels and would be seeking to make progress on better ties by the end of February. The Washington Post correctly indicates the direction of changes, but misses their scope. It is not just about warming ties with the European Union. The real score is that they want Poland to surrender to the European Union. This is why Eurocrats are setting a deadline of just a few weeks for Poland to accept their conditions. And these conditions are to take in migrants, sever transatlantic ties with the United States, and soon after that give up the Polish national currency and adopt the euro. It's not about warming, it's about surrendering to Germany, which controls the European Union. The chief excuse for attacks on the Polish government with Macierewicz as defense minister.
If I'm Polish and the Germans came in once, I ain't letting them back. Ever.
From the EU institutions was that Poland is trying to reform its justice system, which is a very special system. Is a system where judges promote each other to higher positions. There is no democratic supervision. They just do it within their tight-knit community. Political and democratic institutions have no bearing on them. We, the voters, have no bearing on judges, none whatsoever. But even the parliament has no influence, and even the slightest involvement of, say, justice minister in appointments, I don't even mean any systemic matters, was flatly rejected by their community. Many foreign-inspired street demonstrations were staged, and the European Union wanted to keep this system unchanged. There is no democratic country where judges appoint themselves to top judicial positions, appoint each other from within their own closed circle. Was even more important after the formal, not actual, fall of communism in Poland. The judges weren't vetted in any way. The new system kept all those holdovers who had sent patriots to communist jails. They are the people with their communist mindset intact, and many of them hail from the families of communist murderers. Their fixed mindset compels them to always act against Poland. In their daily jobs, they are against the people. They pass unjust sentences and more often than not commit crimes themselves. The justice system, just as Marian said, is totally out of control of the sovereign, that is, of the Polish nation. In Poland, there is no such thing as the jury. Judges select one another and are answerable only to their own clique. They hail from communist families. Some of them are communist murderers who sentenced Polish anti-communists not only to jail but also to death. And to this day, they harass Polish patriots. One of the greatest opposition leaders, Krzysztof Wyszkowski, is to this day being persecuted for having revealed that Lech Wałęsa was a communist informant, codenamed Bolek. Today he is still caught persecuted, even though so many years have passed since the so-called fall of communism. A contrary example is communist Germany. As you know, part of Germany was occupied by Russia until the early 1990s. When West Germany took over the communist part of Germany, East Germany, 80% of judges were replaced. 80% of communist-appointed judges were removed from their offices because it was feared that in a free and democratic country they would be passing unfair sentences.
Yeah.
In Poland, not even one judge was removed. Zero.
Wow.
And now when we want to change our justice system, the communist left-art Europe is blowing the whistle on us, saying democracy in Poland is under threat.
Wow.
Well, I'd like to see the whole picture so everybody can see what's going on here. So 2000.
Try to speak enunciation because they're going to be Polish people.
2016.
Yes.
There was this push for populism. People spoke out loud.
Right.
I mean, the people spoke and overwhelmed their cheated, rigged systems. Everywhere, every country has a rigged system.
Yeah.
You know, and so then 2017, Trump kind of got a feel. You can't just become president. You have to get there, and you have to get to know the place. You got to get to know the people. You got to know the players. But the whole time, he has a plan because he is 70 years old. And he has seen what I have seen.
Right.
And we saw this corruption. So you can figure out who the bad guys are, good guys are. And he could formulate a plan on how to take them out stealthily, like blindly. Nobody sees what's going on. Because behind the scenes, they're being taken down. They're being taken apart all over the world, quietly. But at the same time, the other side is quietly planning for this 2018. This is the war. We are in a world war.
This is a world war.
Right now, we have
This
poisoned
is a
air.
world war.
We have poisoned food. We have poisoned vaccines.
Yep, right.
But now, I hate to say Q because we don't know who Q is, but he said it's going to get rough for Tuesday. But you can see, somebody, Adeline, she said there's all these riots. Okay, this has been planned. The riots are going to come out, but they want a civil war.
Yep.
And
That's what they
Within
really tried.
every country.
But they really tried in America. I mean, the whole Charlottesville, everything that was set up, and we heard about that from the what's his name, Roger Ailes, whoever was with the Clintons. Remember that guy? What's his name? Not Roger Ailes. The guy who worked with the Clintons.
I don't know names. Don't look at me for names.
A Clinton whistleblower.
I look at the big picture. The big picture is that they're going to start these fake riots. They're being paid for. We just have to remember they're being paid for. What's going on in Poland is being paid for behind the scenes.
Very true.
Okay, and they want to civil war because civil war will lead to martial law.
Right.
And then there's confusion in martial law. And then all the leaders in Europe will just turn their countries over. Oh, we need the EU. We can't be separate states anymore. But if the people are smart enough, when all this starts to happen, the people will have their own secret service or secret army and just take out the leaders. I mean, in Europe, they know what World War II's like.
Yeah.
And they know what it's like to have murders and bombs and their houses destroyed and all this other stuff. And they don't want that, especially Germany keeps giving in because the German people don't want war again. But what you do is you got to take out a few hundred, maybe a few thousand leaders. Go after leaders. It's like cut off the snake, the head of the snake. Forget the civil wars that will be coming because they're paid for. Charlottesville was a
Don't
riot.
fight,
Both
fight,
sides
don't
were
do
paid
it,
for.
Don't
lose your lives.
The Bushes supported both sides of the Nazis. The bad guys support both sides. But if the good guys realize we need to take out the leaders.
Right.
And we said that from the beginning as soon as we started this channel.
Right.
Go for leaders.
Well, what Patriot Gallery said earlier was that the Prime Minister of Sweden is saying that he was going to authorize the military to go to the no-go zones. And most people on the right or would say, oh, yeah, go do that. No. You don't understand.
Right.
You don't want a standing army in your country.
Right.
You don't want the army controlling things. That takes away people's liberties. The army doesn't operate under the same civil code as police officers do. And so the idea is to bring in as many migrants as you can. Say there's no such thing as no-go zones. There's no such thing as no-go zones. There's no rapes. And then all of a sudden to switch the narrative and say we need martial law.
Yeah.
Go. Okay.
So, all right, we weren't going to play the entire thing, but since we're already there's only like 6 minutes left, 6 or 7 minutes, I think I want to go ahead and just let it play. Okay. Unless you want to skip to the end.
Is there then any hope to stop the fall of Poland now that Prime Minister Beata Szydło and Defense Minister Antoni Macierewicz have been sacked? Right now there isn't even a single political force in Poland with a say in the forming of the government, which would make it absolutely clear where Poland stands as far as its alliances are concerned. There is a talk of boosting Poland's position within the European Union, of economic cooperation with China. All this is very muddy. We need a clear declaration about who is to be the strategic ally of Poland. Is it going to be the Euro-Chinese-Russian project, or is it going to be the United States? There is no other alternative. The regional alliance of Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and other countries in the vicinity could still be the area where Germany and Russia are kept apart and the Silk Road blocked. But the United States' involvement is essential here. Right now, this project is about to fall apart. The Hungarian Prime Minister made it clear he won't depend on the whims of bureaucrats. He chooses Chinese investors instead. It's going to be the same old story. The whole region, and especially Poland, will remain dependent on its neighbors, which is precisely the very plan that has been carried out since the 18th century to obliterate Poland. At the same time, this is against America's interests. It is not the same if Germany, Russia, China influence Poland, or if the American influence is more prominent. Germany and Russia aim to enslave and exploit Poland, while the United States could become Poland's reliable ally who would want to have a strong partner in Poland. After all, it's better to trade with a rich ally instead of pumping billions in aid into it. The power of the United States is based on the Bible and on the God of the Bible.
Yes.
Unfortunately, because of Poland's history and traditions, the Bible is little known in Poland. The Poles don't know the Bible. They dream of freedom, yet they don't quite understand how to achieve it. They don't understand who gives freedom, that it is Jesus Christ who liberates.
Amen.
And this is why, for Poland to have a community that could form an alliance, not only political alliance, but also ideological or spiritual alliance with the United States, the Poles need to know the Bible. Our television and our church have been sending thousands of copies of the New Testament to those who wish to receive it. We can already see that the Poles First for Truth, our party, the November 11th movement, is the first and so far the only political party in Poland ever to discard the Catholic foundations and to adopt the biblical foundations. If Poland can yield an elite based on the biblical foundations, I can rest assured about the future of Poland and its alliance with the United States. I think it should be stressed at this point that the United States was built by the Poles from the start. Generals Kościuszko and Pułaski fought in the American War of Independence. Millions of Poles were there practically from the beginning, from the time when the United States was the destination of European settlers. The Poles have been there all this time, and they are a very constructive ethnic group, members of the middle class, good patriots who work hard, serve in the army, pay taxes, and have civilizational ties with other ethnic groups in the United States. And what's more, in the last presidential election, when Donald Trump appealed to the Poles and they were insulted by Bill Clinton in that campaign, I dare say Donald Trump owes his victory to the votes of Polish Americans. The Poles are not a nation from wherever out there. The Poles contributed in the past and continue to contribute now to America's prosperity, and we would also like Poland to benefit politically, militarily and economically from the fact that so many of our fellow nationals invested their lives on the other side of the Atlantic. And my last question, who is the hope for Poland? I think that any Polish aspirations to independence will not materialize when in the United States the leftist elites are in power. The entire 1990s, the Clinton, Bush and Obama presidencies were marked by complete misunderstanding of European politics, which proved disastrous for the United States itself. Only the patriotic American Republican elite, represented as we see it by Donald Trump now and in the future, are capable of lending a helpful hand to the Polish cause. But we have to remember that the American national interest actually begins here in Poland. Obviously, our hope is in the greatest of rulers, the greatest king, the greatest Lord, King of kings and Lord of lords, Jesus Christ. But here on this earth, for nations to develop toward greater prosperity and moral growth, they have to turn to Him. That's why we rooted for Donald Trump, we prayed for his victory. Marian Kowalski was the only Polish politician who said it out loud that Donald Trump is going to win this election. From this studio he was heard in Poland and among the Poles overseas. In this American president we also see hope for Christians. If the Clintons had won, the globalist agenda would have been much more advanced today. We hope God will give also our nation leaders who love Jesus Christ, who will reverse the course of our ill-fated history and make Poland great again, just as at the times of the Reformation during the Golden Age of Poland. For this reason we founded our party, the November 11th movement, on the centenary of Poland regaining independence. You watched Make Poland Great Again. With me in the studio was Marian Kowalski, Pastor Paweł Chojecki, the explosive blend on the Polish net. Please share the link to this video. Please recommend us. Write in the comments what you would like us to talk about next time. Until then, goodbye.
Fantastic. That is fantastic. I tell you what I'm thinking about doing too is with Ivan's permission, I'll probably take some of their videos and it'll be the first time we do this. Just upload their video onto our channel.
Yeah.
And then you can just watch them.
Right.
And we can get that message out that way.
At least I want to say to get them started with our viewers. We want you guys, because we want you to be watching on their channels to get them views and subscribers and things like that. But so that it gets shown up in your feed and your notifications more often. I think I like that idea a lot. But seriously, they made a really good point. what happened with the Bushes and the Clintons and Obama, the reason they were able to be put in office was because of a massive misunderstanding of European politics.
Haven't subscribed yet.
What?
On the TV, you haven't subscribed yet.
We haven't subscried yet. I did subscribe.
I subscribed.
We're subscribed.
I subscribed.
Look,
I had subscribed to IsPod Prod TV.
I was subscribed. I don't know. Maybe we subscribe for the Resistance Chicks and not the... Well, listen, you guys need to go and subscribe. But my point is, what they're going to do with this channel, Make Poland Great Again, is they're going to give you guys the facts of what is going on in Poland right now.
Facebook page, too.
And they have a Twitter account. I don't know. Does the Make Poland Great Again have a Twitter? I think they do.
Yeah.
They're on top of it. So I want you guys to go and subscribe to their channel so that you can stay abreast directly of what's going on in Poland. I really feel the power of God on this ministry. And I'm not giving up hope at all. The Polish people are a very strong and united people. And they want their country to remain sovereign. And so I foresee the Polish people rising up and taking over and throwing off the shackles of a tyrannical uprising.
All right, so go and subscribe and like. I like this page. What is going on? This is so weird. All right, so Make Poland Great Again, IPP TV, the voice of patriotic biblical Christians from Poland. I can't say it any better. There's Marion right there. I like his page.
All right, so we're going to sign off here for now. We're going to come back in about 5 minutes. And we are going to bring you just a little roundup of some current news for today. No, we'll just do that another time.
Okay. Marcin, we were going to read. We
were going to do Marcin's thing. Well, I guess I can go ahead and do it. Here's the thing. There are a lot of different political views amongst our Polish viewers. We have Catholic Polish viewers. We have what the Make Poland Great Again ministry. They're the IPP TV. They're biblical Christians. They're not Catholic. And so we get kind of a conglomeration. Now, this is a little bit of a different viewpoint than what they were giving. But Marcin wrote it. And so since he's one of our viewers, I want to give you the other side a little bit. So it says, what does substituting PM Beata Szydło with PM Matusz Morawiecki? He gave me a pronunciation that's not, I don't think I did it right. Anyway, mean. Marcin says, the decision made by the leadership of the ruling party does not mean the change in the direction in which our political formation is heading. So he's a little bit more hopeful. The goal, which has been stated in our political program, is modernization and building a strong, safe Poland. To achieve it, the economic growth needs to be beneficial for all Polish families. This means paying attention to social issues, investments, and good relations with our foreign partners. For 2 years of rule of the right-wing formation can be defined primarily by putting an end to the most drastic examples of injustice. We have assisted children and youths from impoverished families who at times were suffering clear-cut poverty, have lowered retirement age, and have introduced free medicines for our senior citizens. Having made the tax system airtight is our great achievement because this allowed the implementation of the biggest social programs since 1989, and we did it without endangering financial security of the country. Another achievement was bringing investments to Poland, which resulted in creation of new high-salary workplaces. We did all of this under constant attack of our political opponents, who did not hesitate to act in a way which has been harmful to the image of Poland abroad. At this place, I can promise that I'll be very active in the international arena, especially Europe and the United States.
I'm trying to bring it up.
What are you trying to bring up?
That.
You don't need to. You just open. I had it open.
I know.
You just needed to scroll down. That's it. That's as big as it's going to get.
Okay.
How do you imagine working with Beata Szydło? Beata Szydło will be assigned a prominent role in the government, and I am certain we will work in the atmosphere of cooperation. I am counting on cooperation very much. This, of course, is true about each and every one of the ministers. Now, hang on. I think I might be a little bit confused here. I have a feeling that this is actually an interview with the new prime minister, and that's what I'm quoting from. So these aren't exactly Marcin's beliefs. These are from the prime minister himself. So forgive me on that for making an error. Can building economic power go hand in hand with building patriotism? Not only it can, but it has to. Without strengthening patriotism, we won't be able to build a strong economy, thriving economy, and successes of native brands abroad strengthen, not weaken the pride of one's country. They allow the citizens to put the equation mark between the homeland and the state. Please notice that all, or at least, as I want to believe, the vast majority of us love Poland as homeland. However, our feelings to the state are more complicated. Poles who immigrated after 1989 decided to do it not because they were offended at Poland as their homeland, but because they came to a conclusion that Poland as a state does not present them with perspectives for a better future. This is the source of our determination to improve the Polish state in so many spheres of social, economic, and public life. Is there a chance for improving our relations with the EU? The new government, this is true also in case of the new government within the same political formation, means not only the continuation, but also in a natural way, a new beginning. We want a new opening in dialogue with Brussels, but also we are expecting a new opening on their side, less emotions and ideologies and more rationality and genuine dialogue. Countries of so-called old Europe should also understand that countries of new Europe, including Poland, are mature democracies with a stable economy, with high self-assurance, with a mature national communities, they are mature national communities. Countries like Poland may have, and they do have, fresh ideas for solving old European problems. So having a better understanding, and I don't know how I didn't catch that the first time that I read it through. For some reason, Marcin had said that he had compiled something for me, and I thought that's what I was reading.
He just kind of put it together for us.
All he did was a translation.
But then he kind of put like things like at the bottom.
He did.
The countries which did not fall under the Iron Curtain or the old Europe.
So, because I personally find a lot of the things that were said here a little bit scary. So I am not a fan of this new prime minister. I do agree with what they were saying, Kowalski and Pastor Pavel, that this guy sounds like he does come from a globalist idealism there. So thank you, Marcin, for doing that translation. I think it was very fitting to go ahead and read that now so that you guys can get a firsthand account of who this guy is and what his beliefs are. He's trying
So what happened was Brexit was supposed to throw off the EU and stick it to the man. Donald Trump was supposed to throw off the globalists and stick it to the man. Yeah. And Poland was throwing off the EU and they're going to stick it to the man. They basically, it's all these different movements movements of people who are saying, I don't care the cost, we need freedom.
Yeah.
And then you have this pullback where you have, well, Brexit's not really happening. Poland's really not leaving the EU. Donald Trump, he's doing a few things here, but he's not going to do everything. I mean, you even had John Kelly saying that Trump's views on the wall have evolved, and then Trump tweeted out today, the wall is the wall is the wall. My views haven't changed. So you've got this whole thing with John Kelly said there's a difference between candidate Trump and President Trump. Yeah. And President Trump's like, I'm President Trump. So go ahead.
No, I just want to settle something in the comment section.
We got the Jews.
If I may,
Catholics and Protestants here.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the Jesuits and the current Pope are very evil people.
And and most Catholics that I talk to who love Jesus, they see it,
right? Is every Catholic a Christian? No. Can you be Catholic and be a Christian? Yes, absolutely. So you have to take every person on a case-by-case basis. And I would take that a step further. Is every Protestant a Christian? Does every Protestant know the Bible? Does every Protestant have a relationship with Jesus Christ? No. Every person needs to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, and we know the Catholic Church intimately, even though we are not Catholic, our family was, what I do see a lot is a reliance on religion and what's the word that I want? Ceremony and I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. It's on the tip of my tongue. But they rely on that and they don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I've just seen it over and over and over again, unfortunately, in every single Catholic church that I have been to. However, I was rudely awakened. What? Rituals. Thank you. I was really awakened to the fact that in our evangelical church, when I was growing up, we had a solid relationship with Jesus Christ because our mom taught us who Jesus was. We lived a moral life, and we didn't just read daily devotionals. We actually talked to Jesus. And we were in a church where you sit down and you hear all about Jesus, evangelical Christians. And yet none of my friends actually had a relationship with Jesus Christ. I don't know about their parents. They read their devotionals. I know that because they would talk about it. But did they have a personal, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ? Not really. So it's not Catholics versus Protestants here, guys. So you have to lay that to rest. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It's people with a relationship with Jesus Christ and people who don't and rely on religion to fill that gap. And that's what I really applaud IPP TV for doing, is they are trying to get people to have a solid relationship with Jesus Christ. Absolutely. And that is what is most important, regardless. Right. So we're going to sign off here. We're going to come back here in about 5 minutes with all new news, a new title, a new thumbnail. Hopefully it'll let me give a new thumbnail. So we can cover today's news. But thank you guys at Make Poland Great Again, going against the Tide TV, for doing this. We are standing with you in solidarity, the U.S. and Poland. And I think that hope is on the horizon. So we're going to sign off here. Come back in 5, guys. We love you.
God loves you.
God loves you. God bless.
God bless.
I was caught